getting a bike and heading to the Manif. Well, we're not going to take that one, are we? Guess we're taking this one. I'm a little on the late side because I had nobody to go with me. So what I wanted to do instead of rather than my usual kind of getting deep into the fray, is my plan was to go and sit in a cafe and do like a people watch of the protest. Manif means protest in French, by the way. So I kind of wanted to do like a people watching and to show, I guess, how normal it is around the protest. But the protest already started, so I'll be heading over there and I'll see, because the plan was to get there earlier so that I can get a spot and do a people watching. But now we're going to ride right into the eye of the storm and see if there's a place to sit down. I don't know. We'll see how things are going. I have my gear. I'm gonna post a picture afterwards. I took a picture of my gear before I left the house. So this time I have a mask. I have, it's not a gas mask, like a legit, how would you call it? You know, like, it's not gonna stop mustard gas in a war, but it's good for particulate, which is what tear gas is anyway. So, and I have eye protection, just in case, because last time I had an N95 mask, which worked really well, but you know, a little bit of air can still get in there. It's not completely sealed to your face, and so my face was burning, my mouth was burning, and obviously it doesn't do anything for the eyes. So this time I'm a little more prepared, because I know they're just going to like stone cold trap people in a square and tear gas them. But the question, you know, about a lot of this was like, is Paris safe in general in the meantime? And my answer is yes. Like, obviously I'm not anywhere near it, but near the protest, that is. Pardon. Bonjour. You know, you'll see that people are pretty much going on with their lives. Make sure these brakes work. Yeah, people are pretty much going on with their lives, not making a big deal. If they go to the protest, then they go to the protest. But other than that, you can go around Paris and you can do your thing. It's just very much like an if you can't take the heat, stay out of the kitchen scenario, in my opinion. So you can't take the heat, stay away from the protests. So normally who would I go to the protest with? A French boyfriend, but he had a gig today. He's a cameraman. And Carol likes to go to the protest too, but she went to Marseille today. She's a web developer, but she's also one of the artists making all those crazy collages. So yeah, so none of my usual protest type friends were going today. So I'm going by myself, which is why I was not planning on taking the risks of like going into the eye of the storm. Because you should not protest alone. You should not protest alone. Not like seriously protest. So I'm going to go around the periphery, take a look, see what's going on, see if we can get a good spot to sit down and get some work done. Because I brought my laptop and a bunch of work to do. I have a lot of work to do. So we're doing Flavia, who is our managing editor and also another one of the artists. She's doing all kinds of printed materials for the Curiosity Collective, which is our sister tour company. So I have to make a lot of design decisions. And I was going to sit down and do that because I never seem to find the time. So I have my laptop. I have some work to do, and then I have to eat something, because I was like, oh, should I eat now at home? No. Why do something smart when you can do something like be busy all morning and then late for your stream? So we're by the Canal Saint Martin, Canal Saint Martin. This is my neighborhood. Pretty much lived in this neighborhood almost the entire time I lived in Paris, which is almost 10 years now. Not always. At one point I lived in a first suburb on the line 11 called Le Lilas, the Lilies, line 11. I really liked that neighborhood. The people were really cool, like the friendliest Parisian people, unpretentious. Anyway, Canal Saint Martin is kind of what you would say like a trendy neighborhood. And it's also where they filmed the movie Amélie. If you remember that film, it's like 20 years old now. She was skipping stones at the locks here. So if you were watching my Eiffel Tower stream last night, some of the quality was pretty bad because I was just playing around with my new tech, gimbal, which is a stabilizer for my iPhone. And cameraman made it look easy because of course he's a professional cameraman that deals with camera equipment all day. So he was like, oh yeah, you do this. And I was like, oh wow, it's amazing. It's like a miracle device. Well, I was holding it and it was just a disaster. Plus I didn't set the proper settings on the camera anyway, so everything was pixelated. It was a mess. Anyway, today I'll do better. It was my first stream without the GoPro because the GoPro is really easy to stream with, but it's you only get really wide shots. So if you want to get a tight shot on something, like if you're just walking around, it's way better to use the gimbal with the iPhone. I got the Pixel because I wanted to use the Pixel, but I pawned it off on Cam, who's one of our fellow streamers here at Paris to Find, because it doesn't work with a lot of the apps I need to use, so I was really disappointed in that. And I got a refurbished iPhone 12, and I have to say I don't like it. It's too small because I'm very clumsy. I practically need an iPad for typing. I have clumsy fingers. I have gloves on. Yes, it's not that cold, but I'm easily cold, and once I get cold I can't warm up again, so I figured I'll wear gloves. This is where we meet for our first day in Paris tour, actually. It's right here, this really cute bridge, because we go around this neighborhood a little bit and then we hit the Marais. So as you can see, we are in the 10th arrondissement. Actually, we just crossed over. We're now in the 11th. And things are going on normal. You know, everybody's out doing their thing. You'll see it's kind of the before the after work hour, so nobody's sitting at cafes or anything like that. And we're right by Place de la République, but nothing going on there today. Last time we did our live stream, well, one of the times we did our live stream of the protest, we went through there, but that's not where the protest is today. It's going from the Invalides to Montparnasse to Place d'Italie. So I'm targeting Place d'Italie for where to go. And I'm going to see, because that's usually where the confrontation happens, is at the end of the, I mean, there'll be micro confrontations all along, like you saw a few Thursdays ago. If you look in our lives on YouTube, they're saved, and you can see where I get tear gassed and all that. We didn't even make it, we made it to the outside of the Place de l'Opéra. So, like the big confrontations are usually at the end of the march. So, by going directly into the end of the march, is that a good idea? I don't know. I'm not looking for trouble. I just want to find a place to sit down, set up the camera on the tripod, and eat something and get some work done, and then you guys can see what everybody's doing. Because like I said, you don't want to like actively go into it if you're alone. Because then if you get arrested or something, not that I'm doing anything illegal, but nobody knows and it's a little tricky. So sure we're live. I forgot to check my streams to make sure everything's working correctly. With tech, you never know. Yeah, it's looking good. So if anybody wants to chat me, I can see your chats in my multi-chat thing. Obviously I can't while I'm riding because I didn't set up the phone that I have on there. But I'll go when I stop at lights and whatever, I'll check the chat. So if you have any questions about Paris, about the protests, about what's going on, drop it in any of the chats on YouTube, on Twitch, on Facebook, and I will respond to you on camera. We're nearing the Bastille area. It looks like they're filming. I forgot to ask camera boyfriend where he was filming today. I've never run into him on a set, but usually in Paris there's something filming every day. You just have to find it. I think there are like 4 shows about Paris going right now. Because obviously there's Emily in Paris. I think they just wrapped the last season, the newest season that's not out yet. There's that show about the real girlfriends. I met somebody who referenced somebody that was on there. There's that. That's the Bataclan right there where they this terror attack of 2015. So we're in the 11th arrondissement on the Boulevard Voltaire. This was actually the path of the protest, I think, last time. The time that we got tear gassed, so 2 Thursdays ago, 2 weeks ago. Feels like yesterday. That's why it's kind of beat up over here, because they still haven't cleaned it all up. So we're going to head towards Bastille, and then we're going to cross over, because we're on the right bank right now, we'll cross over to the left bank. Because that's the side that Place d'Italie is on. So we'll see. This is kind of a really open-ended stream. I don't know what's going to happen. We're going to stream for a few hours. If I can't, because what happens sometimes is the police really block the protest, so you can't get into it from outside of it. So you have to be behind it, like part of the column. But when that happens, usually all the cafes close down. They close their shutters because they know that there's about to be some action, so they don't want things to happen. Although we did get into the Chipotle 2 weeks ago. The Chipotle let us in. Starbucks was completely closed up for the day because I think they figured, oh, we're multinational, so we don't want to get our windows broken, so they just maintain a low profile on those days. So I don't know, we'll see what we can do as far as like sitting down and eating and drinking something and getting some work done, because there's also the question of who will let me have a laptop at a table, because they don't really like that here in Paris. It's not everywhere you can do that. So we'll see. So we're almost at Bastille. Closed off up there. This is where they have the marché. So this is on top of the Canal Saint-Martin. This is where the Canal Saint-Martin goes underground. So there's a little sort of square built on top of it, and they use that to pop up a marché. So you can see all of the tents. The marché, what is it? Thursday, normally Saturday and Sunday. So it's closed for the day because it closes at like 2 o'clock. So that's why it's partially set up. And I think they leave the tents up for the Saturday, Sunday action. And that's also why they have the bike lane blocked. So it looks like we're about to get our green. On y va. So drop a message and don't forget to subscribe. You could also subscribe to our newsletter. I just sent it out. That's what I was doing this morning and afternoon. I just sent it out right before I came out now. It's on Substack. So if you search Paris to Find, or just Paris, you'll find us. We're Paris to Find magazine. And our newsletter is called Paris Right Now because it's a newsletter about Paris right now. Like what's going on this week, etc. For example, there's an art exhibit opening. That's quite interesting. Was it Warhol and Basquiat? Yeah. So that's kind of a buzzy thing. It's at the Fondation Louis Vuitton, one of our newer art museums. Like, what is that, about 10 years old? Let's go this way. If you were watching my stream last night, we went to the Eiffel Tower twinkling, and I tried to then do something which was make it in time to get tacos, and that was too ambitious. Oh, homie's blocking the bike lane. Why you do me dirty? Oh, why you do me like that? Why you do me like that? Okay, so let's go this way. We're at the Bastille Monument. The prison is gone. Some Les Miserables action. So that's the Bastille Monument. And here to the left is the Opera House, but the ugly one, not the pretty Opera Garnier, but the ugly Bastille one. Bastille Day. That's where it comes from. You don't pronounce those two L's. It's like a Y. Bastille. You could say Bastille. People will know what you mean. If you want to come correct. Look how pretty Paris looks, you guys. The trees are bursting with greenery. I once went to a party at a squat. Let me see if I can find the building over here. It was really cool. I used to be friends with this chick that was part of the squat movement, and they took over a building that used to be an unemployment office. Was it this building on the corner? I don't think so. This looks too nice. It looked more industrial or like more modernist maybe. So anyway, they took it over, and squatting is a big thing here in Paris, and they threw parties to raise money. It was kind of a freegan thing, like they were basically part of like the freegan movement. No, it wasn't this. It couldn't be this one because they had a balcony, and so it doesn't make sense. But part of me thinks it was this building before they renovated it, because it was a public building. It was kind of like that. Oh yeah, and then some of the offices were there, and they had a balcony. Yeah, so all of the squatters had an office as their bedroom, and we like had a kind of jam going. It was like a jam band thing, raising money, and they would buy a bunch of alcohol and then sell it to people marked up. It was pretty fun. So sounds like columns of riot police. What does that mean? Let's find out. No, it's just one police car and an ambulance. Everything's pretty much going on normally around Paris. Nothing exciting going on. Everybody's out. They have their plants and flowers out. So if the question was, is it safe to visit Paris? The answer is make your call for yourself. But I mean, I live here, so I'm not leaving it just because there's a protest. Okay, so this was closed off for some reason, so we must be getting close to the action. So let's see if they let us through, because this is all blocked off, because we're not close to Place d'Italie, but we're kind of close to the march, so it looks like bikes are sneaking through. but we will see. Ooh, in the sun it's nice and warm. I can probably take off my gloves so I don't look like a crazy person. Okay, so we're crossing the River Seine from the right bank to the left bank. In front of us is the Jardin des Plantes, the botanical gardens of Paris, and you can see lots of people sometimes people just tap out of the protest because it's really tiring to walk incredible distances. I can hear. Okay, so we found the protest. I didn't think I would be hitting it right here, but it's not a good thing to have a bike in a protest because you're not really nimble if you need to get out. Like, you don't really have a lot of options. So we got the CGT, the union. It's multiple unions that are involved in this. So I'm taking off my reflective. And what is this? So we have somebody protesting. What does it say? In hoc signo vinces. Does somebody speak Latin? What is he saying? He has some kind of Knights Templar uniform on. Nom nobis, dom nobis, domine non tuo da gloria. Check it out later. I did not bring my sign today. I had my Emily and tear gas sign last time. Curiosity Collective, official tour company of the revolution. So, this. So we found the protest. Now what? Now we're in it. And I have a bike. So if they start tear gassing people, you don't want to be on a bike, especially one that you're financially responsible for. The worst kind of bike. So what to do? What to do? It's actually so warm. I'm taking my scarf off. Some people have beer. The vibe is like a big party until it isn't. So I always pity the guy who ends up driving the truck. Can you imagine driving for 5 hours this speed and trying not to hit anybody? They have a generator on there. I have no idea where we are in the procession, but we're so far away from the beginning and the end that it makes me think it's another big one. This would actually be a good place to sit down if not for the lack of something to eat. All I do on my streams is complain about food the whole time.
Got you. Got you. T'es seule dans ta chambre et tu twerk.
The Union of Public Health Workers.
Baby, I got you. Baby, I got you. Baby, I got you. Got you, got you. Got you, got you.
So now what? I'm in the protest, guys. I won't be able to hear if the camera disconnects because it's so loud. So I'll be checking every now and then. But I'm going to be streaming for hours and hours and hours. So if I get disconnected, I'll be right back. I won't be long. So you can see we're on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. Our Facebook page, Paris to Find Magazine. And if you go to paristofind.com, you can just click on the little and that'll take you to us. And like I said, subscribe to our newsletter on Substack. It's free. It's about what's going on in Paris. And the past few weeks, I've been talking a lot about what is going on here at the strikes. So, not bad. This is a big march again. And as you can see, the atmosphere is chill. The weather's nice. We're right at the river. Just crossed over to the left bank. We're in front of the Jardin des Plantes. So a lot of people are just going there. And the Natural History Museum up there. So what I think I should maybe do is try to put this bike down somewhere, because a bike in this is kind of a liability. Where can I put it legally? Because they don't, you know, Paris is really organized about these share bikes. You can't just put them anywhere. So I just heard from Cam, who's my other live stream comrade, that in Concorde he lives near Place de la Concorde in Champs-Élysées. He said there are explosions constantly. Some of the explosions, you know, are just they're just things to make people think that there's dramatic stuff going on. It's not necessarily an attack. Will be to find. I have to find the multi-chat thing. So we're streaming. Watch us on Twitch, you can watch us on YouTube under the live button on our channel. You could watch us on our Facebook page too. Just go to our website, find.com, and click on the links that will take you directly there. I've seen a few of these, which are the firemen on strike. Firemen on strike. So we're in the middle of So now where to put the bike back is the question. I need to find the parking. You can end your ride here. Where? Right there? Maybe I want to go a little further. It's a little bit lazy, but... party atmosphere, but you never know when you're going to get blocked in and things will start to get wiry. So I'm going to find a place to get rid of this bike. go around and get ahead of the march and find a spot, but I suspect any cafe that I can sit down in on the route is going to be closed. I don't know. Let's see. The laziest type of protesting is an e-bike. So let's find a home for my bike. Look at this, you guys. Like, just look at this. Up this boulevard, you have a little bit of an incline so you can get a good view of just a sea of people. Check this out. So people are setting off little firecrackers and everything to make it sound sexy, but don't worry, nothing too exciting going on yet. The only time you see Parisians really happy is in a protest. It just occurred to me.
Dans les rues parisiennes, les travailleurs chantaient, retraite menacée, on va la protéger. Dans les rues parisiennes, les travailleurs chantaient et chantaient, retraite menacée.
We got homegirl with a broken foot and a cane marching. Americans, get off your ass. So now we've got, it's not tear gas, but they throw these kind of smoke flares to make it look exciting. An unending column of people. So let's try to go around it. See if we can do that and get further up in the front. But as you can see everywhere else, people are chillaxing. These girls are eating pretzels or madeleines or something. So is Paris safe? I don't know, it looks fine to me. I'm having a good time. We're at Gare Austerlitz. The bridges of Paris and the train station of Paris, of Paris. I like the word for railways in Paris. It's ironways. Chemin de fer, ironways of Paris. It's a very charming way of putting it, isn't it? Alright, can we get to where we are going? Okay, critical mass. This guy's going, homeboy's going, I'm going too. Just act like you belong. So the streets are blocked to traffic, which is why everything's so quiet. So some people, you could see they have their reflective vests, so they were in the march, but then they tapped out because for whatever reason. But the streets that are feeding into where the march is are blocked off, so completely devoid of traffic. Places are still open, but obviously not a lot of people around. This is kind of a mini financial district. Kind of looks like Williamsburg or no, Alexandria, Virginia here to me. So we're going to go that way and try to get closer to the march, and when we get close we'll find a good place to put down the bike. So this is what it looks like just a few minutes walk away from the march. It's not much going on. Place d'Italie is probably going to be pretty wild tonight, but I'm not really going to go directly into the eye of the storm. I have my kit under my camera in my bag, so I have like a respirator, a pretty sophisticated one. It's still a powdered one, not a real gas mask, but tear gas is not a gas. I have eye protection. I have my helmet on, which is good for if the police throw the tear gas canisters, you get whacked on the head with one. So I feel pretty well protected. And I keep everything, my protective gear, under my camera in my bag. So, because I was told like if your bag gets searched by the police and they see protective gear, they might just start the harassment early. So it's better to have it underneath something, so if they open your bag they don't see anything like that. Be driving crazy. That guy has a baby on his chest on the scooter. I don't know if I could do that. Literally like in the, what do you call it, the carrier strapped on. It looks like maybe a 5-month-old baby.
Alors, est-ce que le vélo va aller plus vite que la trottinette?
Quoi?
Est-ce que le vélo va aller plus vite que la trottinette?
Ça dépend.
Ah, bah,
Allez,
moi, je suis à fond,
allez,
voilà.
allez. Oh non. Bon. C'est où le manif?
La manif, c'est là, tout droit, et
Ouais.
c'est à droite.
Ok, bon.
Ouais.
On y va.
On y va? Là-bas, c'est l'arrivée.
Bon, super. I'm racing a scooter. En fait, j'ai une vidéo. Nous sommes en live maintenant.
Ouais.
C'est ici.
Ok.
Faites-vous attention pour
Attention,
être très une
attention.
star
Ah ouais,
parisienne.
attention. Alors, pourquoi vous êtes d'où?
Quoi?
Vous faites la vidéo pourquoi?
Ah, parce que je montrais pour le monde les manifs.
Ouais.
Et qu'est-ce qui se passe à Paris?
Ah bah là-bas, ça va être l'arrivée.
Ouais.
Et là, ils sont par là-bas. Là. Vous
Ouais.
voulez aller les voir maintenant, ou sinon vous faites comme ça et vous y allez.
Mais pour Place d'Italie, maintenant, c'est très chaud, les trucs.
Bah on va aller voir, hein.
Ok,
On va aller
je
voir.
viens avec vous parce que je suis seule
Ouais.
et je préfère...
Bah, faut passer là.
bon. Ok, I made a friend. So, he's got the CGT vest on.
Il faudra poser le vélo. Et
Ouais,
tout
ouais. J'ai
sinon,
l'idée.
faudrait passer là-bas pour voir pour arriver dedans direct.
Ouais, j'ai l'idée de faire le plus proche et les vélos
après, vous y allez à pied,
ouais,
non,
comme ça.
c'est pas mal.
Ouais. So I made a friend in the CGT, which are the most militant protesters and union, and we have the firemen off to the side waiting for stuff to be set on fire. So that's where we are right now. And we're behind the line of the riot police. So this is going to be interesting because this guy next to me has like the full vest on. So we'll see what, if anything, they do to us or let us through, because it's getting kind of close to where the action is. So you can see all of the... So yeah, we're behind the line here, and they have the full like crisis thing set up here. So here we go. Oh, they're waving us through. No, I'm just kidding. They're waving themselves through. So me and my friend here, he's the one who sticks out because he's got the CGT vest on.